Welcome back. Today we are getting right into rack and pinions and the rack and pinion system. The rack and pinion system consists of the pump, the reservoir, and this portion right here, the rack and pinion. So as you've seen in previous clips, the front end was covered in oil completely. So it's very hard to tell where the oil was coming from. So I picked up these kits from Gates, power steering rebuild kit, and we're gonna try and rebuild this piece right here. So there is a new pump. The reservoir is fine. We got new lines, and what we're going to do is go through how to take it apart, or at least try to take it apart, and then clean it, rebuild it, and we'll put it back together, stick it on the car with new seals. So right here you have your steering shaft that comes in from the car. This is your input going back and forth. Inside here it transfers it to a gear that's here that turns on a spline, which pulls in and out linear force to the wheels. So you've got inner tie rods, outer tie rods. That whole complete system makes up the rack and pinion. This particular rack has 49 pieces to it, according to the GM manual, which when blown up, I'll throw a picture on the screen, when blown up, it is quite intimidating. It looks like there's a lot of rings and seals and all kinds of things like that. But in this kit, we have a lot of pieces. So I'll lay them all out here on the table. We've got a nice clean work surface. We're gonna take this over the vise if we have to and take some pieces apart and go through each piece. We have some instructions. We'll try and make it as interesting as possible. Paint it, clean it, as we do everything else, and we'll stick it on the car. And then we'll have some steering. Basically, we're gonna take it apart and try and see if there's any damage, anything like that. I don't think there is. It turned very nicely before, but I didn't know if it was leaking, and from where it was leaking, it was covered completely. So basically what we're going to do is rebuild this for, I believe this was like $30 for this kit. As opposed to that, it's $800 for a new one. And probably limited supply because this is 84. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so far so good. It's not as intimidating as I thought it was going to be. It's not too bad. This, it absolutely stinks so bad. It's like 35 plus years of grease in there. It's just nasty. So we've got some brushes. We're gonna penetrate the tubing and get them degreased, get all that stuff cleaned up. There's not really any wear on any of the teeth or anything like that, so that's fantastic. I don't really know if this leaked or not, but either way, it's going to get fresh gases. It's going to be brand new. So the kit also comes, just in case, part number 351690 from Gates. Did not come with a bearing for the bottom of this shaft, nor did it come with needle bearing for the top, nor did it come with O-rings for the lines. So these small lines that run across up into the top, they provide power steering fluid between each section. So in between each section, when it fills up on this side, as you're turning the wheel, the pressure, the hydraulic pressure pushes one way, and then it pulls and pushes more fluid into this side, pushing it the other way. So these O-rings that go into the top here and here were not included as well. Neither was the return line O-ring. But power of movie magic, I have this kit of O-rings here. This should do the trick. I do have lots, so if one size doesn't fit, try the next size up, things like that. I just hope they're thick enough. We're gonna find out, I guess, soon enough when we put it back together. But this should be just fine. And yeah, once we get this cleaned up, then we'll just reassemble. Super easy job. I'm taking my time, obviously. I've never done this before, so I just want to make sure I don't lose any pieces. There is other seals inside of here. There's one here that seals the seals the shaft onto here. There's a seal that goes in this side, seal that goes in this side, and a seal that goes through the top. So the bottom, like I said, the bearing was not included. So it feels okay, it doesn't feel scored. I'm going to clean it out, repack it as best as I can, and we're going to pop this seal out the top, push the new seal in this other side, and new bushings, new things like that. But basically, yeah, pretty easy. You just have to know where the lock rings are and things like that. So that, obviously, the instructions were very helpful. So without further ado, we're going to get moving on and start cleaning and put this thing back together.
Hi.
Hey, what's up?
What noise does a witch's vehicle make?
What noise does a witch's vehicle make? Ah! No, no idea.
Broom, broom.
Wow. Where'd you hear that?
I've got a few up my sleeve.
You have a few up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Is that something we can expect some more of?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Huh.
From time to time, I'll pop in with my little nuggets of wisdom. Or, not wisdom. Fun.
Nuggets of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we're all down for some of that.
Yeah.
Broom, broom.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, like a car goes vroom, vroom. Not that you needed that explained.
Yeah. We're going back to work now. What a fun job. So we have it all cleaned. All the gaskets are on. All the new seals are in. The bearings will be repacked. I cleaned the lines, cleaned this up, taped this off. We're gonna give this a spray. Took the bushings out. and give this a spray, have some dinner, let it dry, then come back and reassemble. At that point, we will throw this puppy in, get some grease, put it all together, follow the instructions as you're supposed to, and should be good to go. So we'll see you in a second. Paint is dry and we are ready to assemble. So we have a plethora of parts here from Moog and Rock Auto. Some new lines as well, pressure line, return lines, things like that. It's going to be really nice. We've got energy suspension bushings. I've already put the one in here for the main bolt that holds it onto the frame. This one slides over the end, which has a cover that goes over top, which I realized I need to paint, so that's okay. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. The instructions, or the manual, recommends that you assemble it with power steering fluid as lubricant, and then we're going to use some bearing or chassis grease to put here in the gear area. So this whole area will have this kind of grease. There's a seal here, and there will be a seal here to keep the fluid from transferring over, which will allow me to put different grease in here. As well as the top here, I think partway through there is another seal that's about here, and there's another seal on top that goes through, and power steering fluid also goes through this area here. So we'll just basically, it goes back in reverse order. It's really nice. It comes with a lot of pieces that you need. It doesn't come with bearings, which is fine. I managed to save the bottom bearing here. I cleaned it out, got the old grease out. It was dried up. The bearing feels pretty good. And we're going to keep that in there. We're going to pack it with this other grease, this bearing grease. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't leak and it should be brand new. So yeah, let's get started. Also, fun little note, on this rack assembly right here, you've got the blue ring, which is now the seal that goes inside the shaft, or inside the housing. However, there, underneath here is an O-ring. So it's kind of spongy, allows it to, I guess, expand, but there was an O-ring underneath. It did come in the kit, and we did change it. It doesn't show it in the service manual, actually, that this has an O-ring underneath of it. So that's a little fun fact. Also, this came in the kit, this tiny white ring. It doesn't go anywhere that I can see, and it also doesn't show in the instructions. So, a little fun fact. Quick note, there is teeth on the end of this, and you have to be very careful while you're sliding it through, as you don't want to cut up the seal that's inside of there. So we're going to try and be very careful. And that is how you rebuild a Corvette or an C4 Corvette rack and pinion from 84 to probably 84. It went very well, way better than expected. It only took probably about 6 hours total. That's with taking everything apart, cleaning it, painting it, letting it dry and putting it back together. That's it. I did get the inner and outer tie rods on. It's now mounted to the car. The only thing left is the passenger side mount, which is drying, and it needs to go on as well. So the polyurethane bushings are really nice. It should be nice and stiff and not shake around, things like that. We did get the lines on. We did get the power steering pump pulley on after some trial and error. And yeah, that is it pretty much. It's I can't believe it's going together as quickly as it is. The alternator is now on. I did get a new alternator. I do have one being built. Thanks so much for watching. The channel is now monetized. I was very surprised that happened, but thank you very much for all the subscribers and the influx of followers from Instagram and things like that. You can check me out on Instagram at rust_n_bust or Rusted and Busted on Facebook. And we're all over the place. We're in lots of communities, lots of Facebook groups. I love chatting with people, so knowledge is power. I mean, the stuff I've learned from this build is just incredible. So still lots to do, but we're moving along. Boxes of parts are flying off the shelf here, so it is fantastic. The recycling man is not my friend because I just keep adding boxes to the pile. So we'll see you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. And stay tuned for the next video. It should be coming up very soon. And just thanks again. Take care.